Hello my friends, welcome to another walk in the Word. Man, I'll tell you, we are having some crazy weather. Of course, it's July, and here in New Jersey, July and August is when we get our heat waves. So it's 7 o'clock in the morning. It's like, I don't know, around 80 degrees already. It's gonna be 95 with the heat index. It's gonna be like 100 degrees today. And right now, the humidity is around 75%, which is pretty bad. It goes down later, but the temperature is going up, so figure get a quick walk in the Word. Trader Joe's. Things have changed here a bit. Now, we saw this last week, and it looks a bit different this week. They're closing this in. Oh, look, they're going to be putting some cement down there. How's it going, brother?
Fine.
You guys working hard, right?
Yeah.
I'm keeping an eye on your progress and putting it up on the internet.
Oh.
You have a good day. So, now you got some other human beings on the video. Let's go around and get a quick shot of the changes. Another guy out here with a hard hat. He might chase me out of here, but we'll see. Yeah, you can see. Yes, sir.
You're on a construction site. You're not dressed for construction work, and you're not permitted on the site.
I understand. Thank you.
Okay.
Have a good day.
Yep.
How did I know he was going to do that? I'm going to try and get a shot. Of Trader Joe's. Looks like they're being more strict about people. Anyway, that's about as much as you're going to get to see. They're just it looks like they went up even higher. Anyway, they're just dressing up the face of everything. So that's cool. Last week on the Walk in the Word, I was talking about how does the Bible make sense to our lives today. If you haven't watched that one, look in the more info section beneath this video, and I'll have a link to the Walk in the Word playlist where you can play every Walk in the Word from day one. That's why they're numbered. And boy, they must have closed off the roads here. There's no cars. They did something to stop the traffic from the highway through here. So anyway, so, you know, and I mentioned, for most people, what does the Bible have to do with their lives? And the answer is nothing. And I made, I think, some good points about why that should not be so in your life. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. Come back, check this one out. I got some more stuff to say. So I don't know if you noticed, but I took a little steam to my hat and reshaped it. Rim was a little too flat for my taste. I love my Kubra hat, so but it's too hot for summer. So anyway, you know, here we have this. Now, my point about a further point I want to make about the Bible being important in your life. Yeah, last week I talked about how after it's all said and done, you get to the end of your life and the things of this world become just so obvious in not bringing any satisfaction. So, you know, it just becomes more obvious, more and more obvious, that the things of this world in the final end bring no satisfaction. They don't last. It's like anything you try and own. It ages, it breaks down, it becomes less meaningful, it loses value. And that's why the word of Yahweh is so precious, because if you don't try and own it, but you partake of it every day, then it's always fresh, it's always new, it's always invigorating. It doesn't get stale, it doesn't get old, it doesn't get moldy, it doesn't break down, it doesn't need a new version to be updated. And here's the main point. You know, I recently acquired Hulu as an app on my television because they offer this old TV show from the 60s called The Rifleman. I love this television show. It's so precious in so many ways. But they also had these some old shows of the Dick Cavett Show. And in 1968, 69, 70, 71, he had some serious hour-and-a-half show, talks with musical guests, you know, Janis Joplin, the day after Woodstock. I don't know where he went. He set up, and a bunch of the artists that performed at Woodstock came over to his show. So watching that too, but I noticed how early on, I mean, we're talking 1970, that the darkness in the world was growing. For example, we had Raquel Welch on, and Raquel, as an actress, she was always promoted as a sex symbol, and she's a very intelligent woman, very talented woman, and she could never get any real acting roles because she was she had a great appeal sexually, you know. So finally in 1969 or 70 she got this role for a movie called Myra Breckenridge, all about a guy who has a sex change and becomes a woman. And I was like, "Shoo, whoa, 1970? I didn't remember that." I remember the name of the movie, but I never saw the movie. The darkness was growing. You never saw anything like that on television, but we're talking 47 years ago, you know. Now it's swamped the television thing. And my point here is about the darkness growing in the world in ways, remember, Satan is the master of disguise. The darkness has been growing in ways that I've seen in my lifetime, in the past 50 years, that are extremely deceptive, very subtle, hard to know. It's like the frog in the pot of cold water. Turn the fire on, the water heats up so slowly he doesn't know that he's being boiled to death. It's like that. It's amazing. So, my point to you today, my friend, is how important, not the Bible, the Word of Yahweh, His Word. I always talk about being washed by His Word. We want to be washed by and growing in His Word. And why? Because if you are not digging in to the Word of Yahweh and seeing what it has to say every day, partaking of that food that I talked about last week on a daily basis so it's fresh and it doesn't grow stale, you start getting excited. You will see this happen if you give it a chance. I encourage you to start with my study on the book of Genesis. I'll put a link to that there too. It'll reveal much to you about why I'm so concerned about the original language and us understanding it. But we want to be washed by the Word because that is the only way the frog is going to know the temperature of the water is getting a little weird. Maybe I shouldn't be in this pot. The only way to avoid the deception of the devil is by being washed in the Father's Word regularly. Spending time in His Word washes the film of Satan's darkness off of us. It renews the mind in such a way that you start seeing things that you will never see otherwise. Please, if you haven't done so, dig in with me, studying the Father's Word. Every time you watch one of my word studies, you will be washed. The more you wash in His Word, the more you will see what I'm talking about. Shalom, my friend.